Hello children and all the parents watching this video and hope you all are safe at home. So today I will be teaching you history of grade 7 tracing changes through a thousands years.
Hello everyone, this video is going to be an introductory one. When historians read about the text, context and documents they from the past, they have to be a very sensitive to the different historical background, the context in which the information about the past was produced. So here we begin with our first chapter of class 7, tracing changes through a thousands year, that is 700 to 1700 CE. It means common era. Okay, before this chapter, we have learned in our previous class, in 6th class, about the ancient time. So in all the classes, the first chapter, we always in the first chapter we will get to know, we will learn
How are tracing changes
about
through a
the
thousands
introduction
years?
of our
The
past.
remains of ancient monuments, weapons, utensils, currencies, and other such artifacts, together with any written records of the period, either in papers, scriptures, or simply by the way of symbols and signs made on the walls, helped historians in tracing changes over a period of several years.
So in this chapter, the whole volume of the class 7 would focus on the medieval period, from ancient to medieval period. Okay, so in this chapter, we will form a kind of a background to help to understand the various kingdoms arrived in the medieval time. Previous class, in 6th class, you have learned about the ancient period. So Indian history is divided into three parts, that is ancient, medieval and modern. It is divided on the basis of their social, political or economy, or their belief, their thought and belief. Okay, so the medieval period, that is considered as in a Indian history, that is considered as a medieval period. It is not same everywhere. In Europe, the duration of the medieval period was 600 to 1400 Common Era, and India, it is considered as 700 to 1700 Common Era. So we can say that medieval period is not say is not is we cannot see the medieval period in same everywhere. Okay, so the students, India, in this chapter we will form a kind of a background to understand the kingdom, the kingdom that has arrived in the medieval period. Okay, in the medieval period, that there was a art of in the medieval period, there was an art of map making was very famous. During the medieval time, there was a art of map making, which is called cartography. Cartography, this art of map making is very prevalent. So as a result, there were many maps, and one of the most important, one of the most famous map was Al-Risi's map, an Arab geographer who has made the map in 1154 Common Era. So his maps were very precise, and one of the interesting things in his map is that his maps were upside down. Means the Sri Lanka was on the top of the India, and one of the most, and one more thing is also good in his map, that he took the smaller section of the place in his larger map, because his map he showed a very he made a very large map, but he took a very smaller section to explain, to tell about the places. So it is very, his map was very much helpful for the invaders to plan out to come in the medieval period. And in his map, no imaginary or taxes used. So he has not used any imaginary or text in his map. So he want to portray the real image of the place or a thing. Understood? And his map was also known as the most advanced map, and map were used without alteration. Till 3 centuries, his map were used without any alteration. So his maps were very much accurate, and whatever he told in his map was very precise. Then the French geographer Galen d'Azur came in 1720s, early 18th century. He made a map. The name of the map was Atlas Novia. He made this map after the 16 years of Alderisi's map, who talked about the Alderisi, who talked about the smaller portion of the region, and the Gualin de Azil, and by seeing its map, it seems to us very familiar, because in his map the subcontinent the subcontinent were explained in a detail. Okay, his map talked about the places of Europe and newly discovered America. All these maps mentioned the economy and social life of the region. Okay, become easy to plan. So by all these maps, the invaders, it become very easy for the invaders to plan to
Map 1
arrive
was
in
made in
our territory or in
1154
our
Common
region.
Era by the Arab geographer Al-Dirisi. The section reproduced here is a detail of the Indian subcontinent from his larger map of the world. Map 2 was made in the 1720s by a French geographer. The cartographer of the two maps are quite different, even though they are of the same area. In Aldirisi's map, South India is where we would accept to find North India, and Sri Lanka is the island at the top.
Now we talk about the new and old terminologies. The old and new terminologies of India is, in the modern history, the India is itself is called India, and in medieval period acts it is again, if we want to explain India, so with the time or with the different people, it has been termed in different name. First, the Miraj-e-Siraj, who was a Persian in 30th century, he wrote he was a leader who wrote Prasastis. Prasastis, as we have learned in classes, the Prasasti is a praise for something that they were the poet who do Prasastis in praise of the kings and their kingdom. Okay, the Hind. The term Hind was given by Amir Khusro in 14th century. Amir Khusro was a poet who talked about the land and society of the of any of a kingdom. And the word Hindustan is termed by
The sources of history. In
Baba.
writing history, the historians not only relies on past thoughts, rather reenacts it in the context of analyzing the documents and other records left. Classification of history is primary and secondary. Primary that refers to ancient and secondary that refers to medieval history.
So the term historians today need to be very careful to use the term as they think they meant different in the past. For example, foreigner at present, as we call the foreigner to the
Sources
one who
of
is not
history. The sources of
Indian,
Indian
but in
histories are
past
divided
the
into
foreigner
two
was the
parts,
one who was
literary
not
and
belong to the
archaeological. The literary
belong to their
resources that include
culture and their
religious
society.
and
City
secular. The
dweller were
archaeological
also
resources that
called
include coins,
foreigners,
monuments,
and there,
artifacts and
but
objects,
however, the
inscriptions
two
and others.
person living in one village or one and having same culture is they are not foreigner. Let's understand historians and their resources. Historians use different types of resources to learn about their past, such as coins, inscription, paintings, archaeological remains, and textile records serve as a link to the past. Medieval Indian history has left behind a great yet rich legacy of archaeological and literacy which help us to reconstruct the history of the period of some of that time. Okay, some resources are, first of all, we have archaeological resources. Archaeology is a term. Archaeology means the things through the material remains of human being. Okay, so some of the material of human remains like building or monuments. In the there are some example of some resources like tomb, clock, or minar, or temple. So these are the things that reconstruct the past in a better way. And some of the most important monuments are Humayun's Tomb, Qutub Minar, Red Fort, and Agra. And these are the resources. They provide us the valuable information regarding the archaeological skill of the workers and material which was used to construct the building and the mode of
Let's understand the
transportation it was
archaeology.
used to carry
Archaeology
these
is the
things
study
and
of
the
the remains of
religious
the past.
and cultural
Archaeologists
belief of the
locate
people
and
of
uncover
that time. So
sources
some
of
of
evidence
the
of the
examples
past
are
people. This
monuments,
can
paintings,
include
sculptures,
skeletal
inscriptions
remains,
and
the
coins are
ruins
the
of the
resources
buildings and
through which
tombs,
we
artifacts
can
they
get to
made,
know
such as
about
pottery,
our
weapons,
past
tools and
and
coins, inscriptions,
about
and stone
their
carvings,
religious
rubbish
and
dump.
cultural
That's
and
all for
their
this video.
society.
In the next video, we will know the chapter in detail. Till then, stay happy, stay safe.